Let me know when you're ready. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I am Christina Taff, and I am a mom of four, homeschool mom of four. I live in Texas, and I started doing this business. Well, I started using oils and got my starter kit around about 9 years ago. And primarily back then, I'm like Tracy. I said, no, I'm not going to do this as a business. I just want these oils for my baby. And then come to find out, I had some friends over and they all wanted to know what this peace and calming was that made my baby quiet. And so it just kind of snowballed from there. And it was so much fun to share with all these other moms and all these friends my age and my mom and my sister-in-laws and everything, just shared with all of them. And it turned into like an accidental business. Does that happen for anybody else? But I fell in love with it and I love doing it. And primarily back then, the way I grew is through classes, teaching in-person workshops and in-person classes. Um, Online has been great, but with the ups and downs of social media and algorithm changes, and just I feel like over the last few years, the lack of community that you can actually get online, um, I really have been going back to doing in-person classes. In the last several years, we've been really honing in on doing these seasonal workshops where we make these really pretty items and people pay to come, depending on whatever you want. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I've found that we get a lot of excitement and we get repeat customers, repeat people coming to these workshops because they're really happy with the education we're giving them and the things they get to take home too. So we're going to walk you through how to actually do this and why you would want to, and try to do this in 30 minutes. So here we go. Like I said, since COVID, since the shutdowns and everything's kind of opened back up, I think people are really craving that in-person community more than they ever have. I don't know about you, but they have Zoom fatigue. They want in person, they crave that. So building community that way is really where it's at. And I'm just going to throw this out there and tell you that this is a network marketing business. And so you have to network. And so if you're not sure what that looks like or how to do that, because I wasn't sure at first either, this is where we're here to help. And we can kind of show you what it is like to network with people. Or maybe you have that part down. You just want help with the links and how to set up a class and how to do it. So we're here to help you with both of that. So networking, what is that like? What does that look like? Well, that means you need to actually talk to people, invite them, get them to come, get them to show up and have a fun, really relaxed community. It doesn't have to be this stifling, like really professional setting. It can be laid back. It can be at your house around your kitchen table. It could be at a coffee shop, wherever you want it to be, wherever you and your community is the most comfortable. And that's where we want you to go. That's what we want you to do, is where is your community the most comfortable? And that way, it's not only that they're building relationships with you, but friends are building relationships with each other. I'll never forget, I had a friend, two friends come. We were hosting all different kinds of things, not just oil things. We were doing Whole30 one time, like years ago, and I had like a big Whole30 potluck at my house. And so two friends that came to my house didn't know each other at the time, and now they're like lifelong best friends. And like it's so cool that is the community that's been built. You know what I mean? Just through all of us coming together and doing those types of things. So, excitement builds and spreads when other people are excited. So that is contagious, and people they like to be there when other people are happy and excited too. So those personal connections are crucial. They're key to our business. And that's why people come back for more, is for community. Of course, they love the products. Of course, they love the oils because they have amazing stories with them, but they come back for the community too. So seasonal workshops for us is where it's at. People come, they pay for these beautiful things, they learn a little bit, and then they go home. I don't want this to overwhelm you. I'm not fancy, schmancy, artsy, or creative or anything like that. I'm just a good copier is what I am. I'm not great at like coming up with all these things. So please don't feel overwhelmed by this. Literally, we have everything that you need step by step. So I don't know if you saw the post in Gather and Dwell. If you haven't, wait till this is over and go look. But I posted a link or links, tons of links to every single thing you would need to host a personal or a seasonal workshop. So right now we're in October, so we're thinking fall seasonal workshops, right? When you think of fall, you think of pumpkin spice and all those things. I think of amazing smells in my house. I think of wellness roll-ons to keep our family well. I think of like things to help keep my house and germs down, clean, thieves spray, right? A throat spray, things like that, right? So things that are pumpkin related, health and wellness related, those are amazing for your pumpkin spice fall. So like for us personally, we've hosted one every year and we just call it the Pumpkin Spice Wellness Workshop. And that kind of just it brings everything in, like we're doing pumpkin related scents like oils like cinnamon and clove and all of those, but we're also talking about wellness. And so it can really look however you want. What's worked for you? Just tell your stories. We don't take the time, you can, but we try, most of our people that attend are already members. And so we don't take the time to necessarily go through like that whole first part of the script, like all about seed to seal, all about safety. We do hit on those points, but we're very brief with them because they've all had that basic knowledge. But if you have a class, know your audience, right? So if you have a class of all brand new people, you might want to spend just a tiny bit more time on that, but they are there to learn about pumpkin spice and wellness. So get to that and talk about that. And so we'll bring in like all of our favorite products. So this is going to be a little bit different than a 101. We can teach to the kit because that would be amazing, because if we have new members there, teaching to the kit is always the best way, in my opinion. But also bringing in your other things like if you're talking about wellness for winter, your Immune Power, your Inner Defense, Vitamin Super C, your probiotics, all of your favorite things. Okay. So some things that like in that link that I shared in Gather and Dwell, some things that there's an Etsy store that you can go to for these beautiful labels. And she's actually a cross-line friend from us. Her name is Erica Thomas. And if you guys want to write this down, go to her Etsy store. Her Etsy store is Pretty Simple, the number 4 and the word you. Pretty Simple for you. Everything is spelled out except the number 4 is just 4. Pretty Simple for you. If you just search that in Etsy, thank you, Tracy. Then Tracy put the link in the comments there. And if you search that, she has so many amazing different packages that you can buy, and literally you go to that package and it gives you all of the recipes, all the pretty labels, and inside the package, I'm pretty sure even before you buy, but definitely after you buy, she sends you the link, Amazon link, to every single thing that she recommends, down to like the labels to print, the paper to print for your labels, the bottles, everything. Okay. So it really couldn't be any simpler. The labels are not necessary if you don't want to spend the money. But I will tell you that they are very pretty and it's already done for you and it's really easy. And I personally prefer that. And I feel like people are more likely to be more excited if they're going to go home with something that's pretty, rather than if you just slapped a sticky note on it or slapped a sticker and wrote on it or something. It's totally possible, not knocking that. You can definitely do it that way. But I do like pretty labels, and I think people are willing to pay a little bit more to come to a class with pretty things. So on her page though, you can get lots of ideas too. She has things like for each season. You can do in the winter, during winter, because winter and Christmas time, that's all coming up. You can do bath salts with Christmas spirit or winter lights or black spruce, like all these amazing pine, like all these really good smelling like winter tree pine oils. You can do room sprays. With that, you can go home with hand soaps with really pretty labels with whatever scents that you like. Diffuser bombs. So a diffuser bomb, if you don't know what a diffuser bomb is, those are really fun. You can get these little cute, you can save, first of all, you could save all of your little 5 ml bottles or your 15 ml bottles if you wanted to repurpose those, and buy droppers on Amazon. And you can actually bring those to your class and people can make diffuser bombs. So they'll just put the blend of oils that you're recommending in there. And then they can literally just take the dropper and drop it in their diffuser. It's already pre-mixed for them. They don't have to think, they can just do it. It's a lot like our simplified oils, right? We were doing this before Jacob and Kate came out with their simplified oils, which I love, by the way. They're amazing. But then they can kind of make their own, right? They can kind of tailor it to what they want. But diffuser bombs are super fun. Then you can also take your diffuser bombs and make thieves cleaners and put the diffuser bomb oils in your thieves cleaner to make those really to take the thieves cleaner up a notch. So those are all really good ways. We've also made wellness roll-ons. So those are some really good ideas for like winter, right? Because you're still looking for immune support with your wellness roll-ons. You still want the thieves to kind of clean all the germs and things like that. Some other ideas that we've done before in the past are like here after fall and winter, think what comes next. You've got Valentine's Day, right? So those are some of our most favorite classes, like the Valentine's Day, like sexy classes, Lucy Libido classes. There's this book called Lucy Libido, and we get a lot of our recipes from there, but you probably can just search our group and share. We've shared tons of stuff in Let's Be Frank, and there are tons of recipes on. Yes, they're so popular. This class is so fun. In fact, we've filled our own living rooms full of these classes because people are wanting all the help they can get in this area. But some ideas for Valentine's Day classes are things like love serums. There's one that's particularly my favorite called Juicy Lucy. Just use your imagination with that one. Just side note on that, don't teach that class when your mom's there, because my mom came to that class. It's embarrassing. Anyways, or do it. I don't know. I mean, maybe your mom doesn't care. My mom doesn't care. But bath salts are another really good one. That one's super, like you can put whatever. You can put like Sensation and some bath salts, Sensation oil blend and some bath salts. That would be amazing. And you can make those, put a pretty little label, get some glass jars. You guys, this stuff is so cheap. You can get some Epsom salts and glass jars on Amazon, print out those pretty labels, and people are going to go home with like the best little jar of oils and roll ones and stuff like that. So you can actually also make lube. That's another one. So use your imagination. Sky's the limit on these, honestly. But Erica Thomas did all the work for us in her Etsy shop, so you can also look in there. And I'm not paid to share Erica. She doesn't know I'm sharing about her stuff. So Erica also has an elderberry label, so you could also do that. You can make an elderberry class. I don't know if you guys have ever tried your own elderberry syrup, but like making it. But elderberry is really, really good for your immune system and at like preventing the flu and helping you get through colds and viruses. Jalen says she's planning to do one in November. Awesome. And that's actually can be really quick. You can have people over at your house. You can make that in your kitchen with all your friends, and then it tastes so much better if you put our oils in it, like cinnamon and clove. Like there's an amazing recipe for elderberry, so much better if you put oils in it. So you could do that. So that's another really good one. Just some things I only have about 10 or 15 minutes left, so I kind of want to focus on, if you have any other questions or other tips, please put them in the chat. But I just kind of wanted to also say, as we were talking about all this, please don't feel intimidated or feel like this has to be like super, everything has to be perfect. This can be very low key and chill. I mean, if you're like the perfectionist type of person that wants to go all out, have at it and do that. That's great. But keep in mind that the people who come might be a little intimidated and they might not want to try to replicate or duplicate that themselves. And the whole point of this is to make it easy. So that way your team can duplicate what you're doing. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Is this might be fun. People are going home with some great things, but I didn't put a lot of like thought into it, honestly. Like I literally went to the Etsy shop. I bought the thing that she said, bought the things on Amazon, printed it off just like she said, and it all came out beautiful. And people were so wowed and impressed, but it really wasn't that much. It was very easy and simple. So keep it relaxed. I'll never forget one time we had a women's hormones make and take at one of my house or my sister-in-law's house, and it was in the middle of the day. And so we all had our kids there, like little preschooler aged kids and toddlers running around, coming in and out while we are trying to chat. But it was that was like the class that I actually have the most best memories from. So it wasn't like this professional setting, it was more laid back. So don't get too hung up on that. Okay, so let's talk about some places to host. What are some good places that you can do this at? Personally, we've had the best experience here. This is going to be totally based on, again, know your community, know wherever you're at, whatever it's like. But I live in Lubbock, Texas, so it's a college town. We have a ton of coffee shops. Honestly, that's the best place. There's this great one that's on a lake with a patio, and we'll just go out there. And they let us come out there. There's almost never anyone there, and it's perfect because people can grab their coffee and it's chill. And we almost always have great weather in the evenings to be able to do that. But you just have to kind of go with what works for you. Restaurants, maybe call around and find restaurants that have those little rooms that are really good or will let you use it. Patios at restaurants, coffee shops, things like that. There's also becoming something that's really popular that's kind of newer to me. Maybe this is all over the country more popular, but maybe recently here. But people are like building or like buying these little tiny rooms or like, I don't know, shop sizes. I don't know. They're like the size of a living room or something. And like a little attached kitchen or something. And they're like tiny homes and they're renting them out to people. Like there's some people around here that bought and renovated one. And during the day, they host senior citizens for free to come get free coffee and play card games and stuff like that. They come and go all day long. But then in the evenings and weekends, they rent it out for things like whatever you want to do, like our oils class or, whatever kind of classes they want, or weddings or showers or whatever, not weddings, but like showers and things like that. And they're super cute. So depending on your budget and how much you want to charge, that might be an option on how expensive it is. So I'm still all about the free. So I haven't gone that route yet, but if I have to, that's an option. So your home is great too. Don't feel intimidated by that. I've had plenty at my house too. I've got 4 kids. I mean, I'm in my office. Everything's always a mess, but I kind of just like, it's fine, like put some diffuser oils in your diffuser, clean your kitchen, and you're good. Just let people come over, and I promise they won't judge. It's no big deal. And just have them over and enjoy that time with them, that community with them, and that fellowship with your friends. Okay. And if you have any other ideas, please pop them in the chat while we're talking, because any other ideas for places is amazing. Okay. I had this question too from people, what do you charge? And that is going to be just based on what you choose. You don't have to do everything. Like, let's say you are going to go the Etsy route and buy her little package. You don't have to do everything. You can do everything, but you don't have to. So whatever you want to charge is going to be strictly based up to you. Some people do it for free for their team because they want their team to be able to come and do it for free. Totally great. Keep in mind that whatever you spend is a tax write-off, but if you charge money for it and they're paying you, then you can't use that as a tax write-off. So if you do pay for it all out of pocket and you don't charge, then it is a big old tax write-off. Or if you kind of want to do half and half, you can do that too. Maybe not charge as much, whatever. I'm personally this time, because supplies have gone up a little bit from inflation. All the things on Amazon that I was buying last year and the year before have gone up significantly. So this time we're doing free things and I'm charging $30 for my ticket. And that's because I'm not sure if I'll have to pay a little something for my place yet that we're going to rent out this time. So, if someone says the Etsy link isn't working, it's in the groups. Yes, Robin, and Gather and Dwell, go check out a post that I did recently. You'll see it if you scroll down a little bit, and that link should be working. If not, we can make sure it works. So whatever you choose, again, know your audience there, right? Like if your audience maybe doesn't want to pay that much, then lower the ticket price a little bit. But then maybe choose to do a little less. Maybe they only go home with 2 items or 1 item or whatever it is that you decide. I will say there is some value in understanding that there will always be people that want to pay less, and there's always people that are willing to pay a little more as well. So keep that in mind, and maybe do one that's not as expensive and do one that's a little bit more. It just really depends. Like I said, know your audience, know the people that you're inviting, what they'd be interested in. But also, not to confuse you or anything, don't prejudge them either and think, oh, they would not want to spend that much on a ticket, because you'd be surprised who actually does want to pay more for a ticket. Okay, another tip that is newer to me that I just started doing was when you create an event in Eventbrite, you can actually do a promo code now, and you can have that expire, and it can be for whatever amount, whether it's a percentage or a specific amount off, and you can actually do that. And so like if you share it with your team, or if you post it on social media, you can say, hey, use this code for 15% off your ticket through Saturday only. And that is just such a good way to kind of drive up ticket sales and to get them to go ahead and purchase early, because there's nothing worse than everybody waiting until the last minute and then you're like not having enough supplies. So to encourage early ticket sales and bigger ticket sales, I liked that idea of the promo code. Okay. So one more thing, and then I don't want to waste too much more of your guys' time, but the biggest thing is you can do all of this. Oh, side note though, let me go back to Eventbrite. Eventbrite does charge a little bit of a fee, like depending on the price of your ticket. You can choose whether you absorb those fees or the ticket buyer absorbs those fees. So that is another decision that you're going to have to make for yourself, how you want that to work. And keep in mind that they are paying taxes on that as well. So it might just so you know. Okay, so you can do all this work planning, right? You're going to get you're going to get on there on Etsy, on Amazon, and order all this stuff, but it's not really going to be super beneficial if you don't invite. You have to invite. In fact, I heard someone say one time that 80% of your success of your class is going to have to be 80% of your work is going to have to be the invite. Okay, so invite, post about it in your groups, post about it. Maybe not every day on your own social media, because that's annoying, but post about it. But not just posting, because posting, people see it and scroll right past and they don't really look the other way. It's good to post and share about that kind of stuff occasionally, but there's nothing like that personal invite. Like, hey, so-and-so, I know you've been interested in this in the past. We're having this really fun get together, totally casual at this coffee shop. We're going to make some really great wellness roll-ons and pumpkin spice. Who doesn't want their house to smell like pumpkin spice, right? And hey, do you want to come? Here's the link to the tickets. We'd love to have you. I'd love to see you and hang out with you. And leave it at that. And invite them. Make it super casual. I also, if it were me, and this is what I do, is I personally text every single person on my team that's local to me, that's within like a 3-hour radius of me. I've had people literally 2.5 hours to come to our classes because I personally invited them. I sent them a text with their name and said, hey, I'd love to see you. It's been a while. We're having this workshop. We have a ton of fun. And they drove 2.5 hours to come with a group of them. And it was so much fun. So the invite is going to be what you should be spending 80% of your time on preparing for classes, inviting, and that is how you're going to get people there. So texting personally, calling people in person, saying, hey, when you see your friends at work or wherever it is that you talk to people, say, hey, I'm going to have this really fun event. They can be on your team or not on your team, and just invite and ask them to come. Okay. I'm just looking through my notes really quick to make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh, here's an idea. If you're I don't recommend this if you're going to do it in like your home necessarily, but if you're going to have it in a public place, now this was pre-COVID that we used to do this when we were really trying to get our name out there in the community. I created a Facebook page for our oils team. It's called Talk Oily to Me. And so I created a Facebook page, and I would pay to advertise our workshops on there. And so we did get quite a few random people we didn't know. That's why I say don't necessarily do that if it's at your house, but if it's at a public place, like a public venue, like a coffee shop, then that's different. And I would be totally fine doing that. And we paid Facebook. You can like, Facebook's gotten really good at tailoring exactly what people like, right? And so we would sell out every time we would pay to advertise on Facebook, our workshops. And those, we actually did get some long-term customers, some people that ended up enrolling from that. So, and those, some of these like, it was a couple of girls that came and now their whole family is like all enrolled. And so like, it's just become this big thing. So I do highly recommend, playing around with that. You can start with as little or as much as you want. Again, remember, if you do pay to advertise, you can, if you're looking for like a cold market, then that's a tax write-off. So just think about that. But that's totally if you want to go there. If you're wanting to just keep it intimate and friends, that's great too. Don't feel like you have to do the Facebook advertising thing. Okay, what to talk about? Let's just briefly go over that because I don't have an exact script for you, unfortunately, because every time that we've done this, we kind of just made it a very laid back, casual thing. And I just literally go to my cabinet, grab all the things that I've been using recently and jot a couple of notes down. And it's like chicken scratch. So I really probably should put it in like a more professional like notes, but like I said, grab your Immune Power, grab your Immune Pro. This is a fall and winter one, right? Like if you're talking about wellness and keeping your immune system up and things like that. And then we don't just talk about like Young Living only, like we talk about nutrition as well, how important that is to stay well. We'll add in some homeopathy in there because a lot of our friends are really all into that too. So we'll add some education on that, as well as then of course all the oils and supplements from Young Living and things that maybe Young Living doesn't have, like cod liver oil and things like that that we find really important. And so we'll talk about all that and we just say, hey, this works for us, we haven't gotten sick, we just tell our stories. And that's part of the reason why maybe we haven't made a script for things like this is because literally we just tell stories. We don't really educate necessarily on all the ingredients and everything. We just talk about why we take it and how we feel when we do. And that seems to be, again, facts tell, stories sell, right? You've probably heard that a lot. And that is where it's at, honestly. Like, just tell your stories. So please don't stress about this. It's meant to be, do I co-host or is it just me? Yes. So I've done it by myself, but I usually find another member on my team because it's just so much fun to kind of go back and forth. So we'll get up there, me and another girl. Sometimes it's been my sister-in-law. She moved away. I have other members on my team here and we do it together too. And so we just have fun kind of going back and forth. And that makes it a little more casual as well. Like, because we just kind of, it makes it more of a conversational class than just like I'm going to read from a script and be professional class. If that makes sense. So something else I wrote on here is something else you can add. Stacy Cook is on here and she posted about some really amazing like little printouts she made. And I was going to try to figure out how I could duplicate that. I think she just made them herself, right? Did you just like put it together on a piece of paper or like in a document and then print it out? She posted about it in Gather and Dwell. You'll have to go and look at it. But those would be really fun to kind of pass out to if you're wanting to add something to that that they can take home. She says she made it in Canva. So you'll have to go look at one of Stacy's latest posts in Gather and Dwell because she has this little trifold paper that she handed out. So that's a really good option. Take paper and pens for people to take notes because they're going to want that. Or they could use their phones too, like their notes app or whatever. But yeah, it did look really professional. So what questions do you guys have? If I missed your question, maybe type it again in the chat. Or does anybody else have anything they want to add or say? I pretty much asked everything that I thought of. Most everything else that I would add to take to a class, like let's think of the little things like Sharpies and scissors. If you're going to go somewhere, you're going to need all those things, right? Tape to tape the, because like if you've got this table full of stuff, you're going to want to put it on like a pretty, it doesn't have to be crazy. just like grab some decorations from around your house. Seriously, don't go buy anything. But like every once in a while at the Target dollar spot, they'll have like those cute little stands and stuff. And I use them in my medicine cabinet to hold all my stuff. And then whenever I have a class, I just take it all out. It's kind of a pain sometimes, but that way I'm not buying anything new. But it's good to just grab that stuff. It's super cheap and it looks cute. And then like or Dollar Tree, go to Dollar Tree and look for some things to display if you want. You don't even have to, but if you're kind of into that. But I do recommend getting like that wrapping, that brown paper, wrapping paper. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that comes in the big rolls and you like put it on, you can wrap things with it and mail it, but then like you can also put it on top of your table and you can write on it. If you're going to be outside, don't forget the tape to tape it underneath because the wind will catch it and blow it. At least here in Lubbock, Texas, it's super windy. But grab like a Sharpie marker to write out. I like to write out, if they're making stuff, I like to write out the recipe on that. And then that way it's easy. You can throw it away afterwards and then they can see it when they're making it right there. It's written real big on the table. So yeah, Tracy says, yeah, craft paper, Stacy. Tracy says like cake stands. Yeah, skincare, makeup line. Yeah, there's also some skincare beauty stuff that Erica has. I'm done talking. So if you guys want to chime in, if you have something you want to add or questions. Jody. Yeah, I take a I take a cod liver oil from Rosita's brand cod liver oil, and it's really, really good. It's like a natural form of vitamin A and D, and it's really good for your immune system and just really good for all the minerals and things like that. So we do that. A spa class would be super fun. We've done that too.
I was just going to walk you guys through the spa class. Christina, amazing. So she's like the queen of seasonal workshops. She's so good at it, but a spa class is really fun. And you could just showcase like 4 or 5 of Young Living's products. But I just have like what Christina said, like I have a couple of like, you know, those little mirrors that you have in the bathroom, they're like little mirrors like on a stand. Like we have a couple of those. I just get like these disposable headbands. I have washcloths, right? Like what I do is I like to put the washcloths, roll them up, put a little water, put them in a crock pot and add some Raven in there. So like we take off our makeup together, then we like use, you know, the cleanser together, we use a toner together. And, you know, we talk about the ingredients that are in each of the products. We put on, you know, like a serum or a moisturizer, but just kind of like having that experience of kind of doing it together is so fun. And I'll even tell people we'll have some makeup that you can sample because, you know, after you've done the spa class, people are like, I don't have a makeup on. What do I do now? They want to put the makeup back on. So again, just like little samples, you can even cut the little makeup sponges, like, you know, like in quarters or like have those, you know, cotton pads to like apply makeup, which is great. So it's so good. But yeah, a spa class can be really fun. And, you know, you could be doing these like workshops. I mean, literally you could have a different theme every single month, but if you don't have one in the calendar yet, I just want to encourage you to do it. There is no better time to do a seasonal workshop than right now. You know, Christina was saying, you know, like a fall wellness or a winter wellness, a pumpkin spice, you know, as we get closer to the holidays, like a DIY holiday gift making class is really fun too. And sort of the wording that you're using, right? Like for instance, I would say something like make 5 gifts for $20, right? And you can make really simple, very economical things like lip balms, or like, you know, maybe you're doing a scrub, like a sugar scrub, but it's not in a big container. It's like a 0.5 ounce container, right? Or like a little thing of bath salts. Like you can make sort of like these mini gifts, but that is really encouraging too. And then people will bring their kids. You could do a kids workshop. I feel like we've had some ladies here who have done like Play-Doh workshops, right? Like where you're making scented Play-Doh or like slime workshops. I mean, really, it's like the sky is kind of the limit. But we wanted to just take this opportunity to show you that you really can do these workshops. Once you've done one, it's kind of like that same template, right? Of like doing the same one similar things. You're just kind of changing out the little goodies that people are going to get, and like, the theme, but it's all basically the same template. So definitely go look and gather and dwell for everything that Christina had posted. I mean, those are like the supplies that I typically have on hand. Dropper bottles, spray bottles, roll-ons. Like I kind of always have this stuff, and I'd like to buy in bulk, right? Because those are the things that I'm typically using either for a seasonal workshop or for like a make and take or like a member party. Those are sort of, just really good supplies to have on hand.
Something to add to that that I didn't really mention here, but I was thinking about this other day, like even if you do have to charge a little something for it, it is still worth it for them to pay because like I'm buying all these spray bottles and all these roller bottles and these pretty little glass dropper bottles in bulk from Amazon. So I'm getting it for a whole lot cheaper. If they were to just buy one of all of that and then buy enough oils to make all of that, they're still spending more money. So by me buying all of that and then them just paying a little bit to come, it's saving them money because I'm buying it all in bulk. So like when you look at it from that perspective, I feel like people are definitely willing to come for that.
Yeah. And you know what? As we were talking, I was just thinking of one more thing is you guys, I think really talking about, knowing your audience and kind of knowing what their needs are, especially with things going on right now, inflation, things are more expensive. I think really sort of elevating how you can do these things on a budget, right? Like you can do these pumpkin spice things on a budget, or like you can do holiday gift giving on a budget. Like these are really going to be key things that you can be talking about. So I just think those are great things to think about as well.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Thank you so much, Christina. This has been an amazing workshop. So informative. And thank you so much for doing that post too in the group.
Oh yeah, it was my pleasure. Yeah, and if you guys have need any help with anything, like feel free to ask us, comment on there, because if you have those questions, I'm sure a lot of other people do too. We're here to hold your hand the whole way. So I guess if we're done, if nobody else has any questions, we'll sign off for tonight. Sound good? Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here and go have fun with your workshops. Bye.